Folks, we've got such fantastic news to report to you today. We could not be happier to bring this broadcast to you. Aaron Dorr here, folks, Wyoming Gun Owners. If you haven't seen the news on our Facebook page, if you haven't seen the news that is breaking across the state, let me be the first one to tell you that late last night, Wyoming Gun Owners successfully stopped Ed Buchanan's unconstitutional, tyrannical approach on trying to muzzle free speech here in Wyoming. We won our lawsuit in federal court. Huge, huge victory. Thank you in large part to the members of Wyoming Gun Owners who made this all possible. We're going to break down what happened here today, or last night rather, in this video today. I want you guys to come on in, post your location in the comment section, let us know where you are watching from. This is going to be, it's going to be a great video. It's going to be a great video because I think deep down, every single rhino in Cheyenne, certainly Attorney General Bridget Hill, where's this photograph? There we go. Certainly Bridget Hill there on the right, certainly Ed Buchanan there on the left. They never thought that this little powerhouse for freedom, Wyoming Gun Owners, would have the ability to take them in to federal court. They thought when they came after us to put a muzzle on us that we would sit down meekly and submit. And instead, folks, with your help, we took them into federal court and we won. The issue was decided yesterday, and we could not be happier to break this down for you guys. So here's what's going on. Here's where this began. Here's how we got to where we are today. Everyone knows in 2020 that what Wygo members did shook the entire state. We had a large number of anti-gun Republicans who were booted out of office because gun owners were sick and tired of them trying to pass fixed NICS, mental health gun control, tired of Republicans co-sponsoring bills to mandate waiting periods in the state of Wyoming. And they're sick and tired of seeing Republicans slow roll pro-gun bills. And so on election day in the primaries in 2020, a whole host of rhinos got kicked out of office by gun owners. You've got everybody from Michael von Flatteren, 16-year, 17-year, whatever it was, incumbent, former Senate president. You've got Judiciary Chairman, David Kirkbride. You've got Bill Pownell. You have David Northrup. All of these rhinos, all of these anti-gun Republicans that gun owners kicked out of office, and many more who were seeking office for the first time. Everyone tried to stop us. You guys all were a part of this fight. Former Governor Meade was doing endorsements trying to help protect anti-gun rhinos. Multiple billionaires in Jackson set up PACs trying to shut down pro-gun candidates. You had the late U.S. Senator Enzi did the exact same thing, doing digital ads trying to prop up anti-gun rhinos. Of course, former U.S. Senator Alan Simpson, same thing, trying to prop up anti-gun rhinos. It was everybody versus Wygo. All the powerful people, all of them across the entire state versus the members of Wyoming Gun Owners. And you guys crushed them all across the state. So I wasn't there for this phone call, but I know it happened. The rhinos in Cheyenne in the legislature said, if we don't deal with this problem, if we don't shut down Wygo somehow, it's going to be our head on the chopping block, politically speaking, for the humor impaired in the 2022 primaries. And they were right. So they had a bogus complaint filed by the Chamber of Commerce in Cheyenne. They know nothing about commerce, and they don't fight to protect it, that's for sure. But their chairman, Dale Steinbergen, whatever the hell, filed this bogus complaint trying to shut us down. And what they wanted was pretty egregious. The state of Wyoming then reaches out to us and they say, we want you to complete these campaign finance disclosures, and we want a list of your donors. We want a list of your donors. Now, I'm getting ahead of myself. What was really amazing about this is that before we heard from the Secretary of State, before we heard from the Attorney General, before we saw it online somewhere, I got a phone call from a reporter in Riverton asking me to comment on a complaint that hadn't even been made public had not been made public yet. You see how this backsider BS works? These guys file a complaint Never, it wasn't even known to the state of Wyoming yet, in the capital. And instead, before it even got public, the press had it, the news had it, the media had it, and they're calling us saying, "What's your comment on this ethics charge against Wygo?" Fantastic stuff, straight up insider BS. Power brokers trying to reach out to their friends in state government to use the power of the state to shut us down. And again, their request was very direct. We want you to give us a list of your donors who helped you do what you did in the primary. And our response at the time on the phone was, over our dead body. It will never happen. That was the last time we talked to them on the phone. From that point on, we had to involve counsel, as you can imagine. But we knew on day one there was no scenario in which we were going to surrender a list of our donors to Ed Buchanan and Bridget Hill. Not a chance in hell. We'd never do that to our members. We love you far too much for that. So instead, then, we had to face a choice of paying this fine or giving up that data. And so we paid that fine. And I think for a lot of them, they thought, you know what, this is over. This is over. Wygo surrendered, and we were going to play ball, paid the fine. We're going to move on. Because that's what they're used to. These people have all the power. They have all the money. They don't pay their own legal fees. They don't have to hire lawyers. Taxpayers, Wyomingites pay for these legal fees. And they all knew that. And so I think deep down they thought, you know what, there's no way Wygo is going to come after us. And so we paid that fine. I think they all thought that was the end of it. And the very next day, we filed a lawsuit in federal court trying to shut down the abuse of power that we were experiencing from Ed Buchanan and the entire state government apparatus, frankly, here in Wyoming. Now, huge shout out, major shout out to the Institute for Free Speech, IFS. These guys heard about this case, and we spoke with them and explained the dynamics of this case. And the Institute for Free Speech did most all of the work in this case from beginning late in 2020 all the way into oral arguments in Casper just 2 weeks ago, 10 days ago. So a huge shout out to the Institute for Free Speech. And so what we did then, beginning in late 2020, was lay the groundwork for this federal lawsuit. We had a year, maybe a year and a half, I'm not even sure, of discovery motions and all these documents exchanged back and forth, having to surrender all kinds of information. But at the end of the day, we wound up in Casper just 2 weeks ago in front of the federal judge with oral arguments for summary judgment on both sides. The state believed they had such a strong case, the judge should dismiss it. We, of course, believe the extreme opposite. And here's the lawsuit right here. This is it. This is Wyoming Gun Owners versus the entire list of power brokers. You can see there, Ed Buchanan, minus the typo, not sure about that, Bridget Hill, Karen Wheeler, Kai Schoen, all of these people, all the power brokers in Cheyenne versus you, the members of Wyoming Gun Owners. And late last night, here it's a 28-page long decision, so I can't read the entire thing right now, but here's the conclusion. Late last night, this is the last page. Basically, Wyoming's campaign finance statute 106H does not survive exacting scrutiny, and it violates the First Amendment. Violates the First Amendment, and it is now void for vagueness. This is exactly what we told Ed Buchanan. It's what we told Bridget Hill. We said Wyoming's campaign finance law, which was brand new in 2018, it's overbearing, it's unconstitutional as hell, and it's not in compliance. It's not in line with the Supreme Court precedent on this issue. But do you think these people listen to us? Of course not. Of course not. But folks, thankfully, we still have a country with law and order. And thankfully now, again, the federal judge has ruled in our case last night. This law, as you can see again right here, is void for vagueness, and specifically on line 2, violates the First Amendment that we all have as Americans to exercise our voice, our free speech rights. I'm just going to say this, folks. First of all, boom, this is your victory. All of this only happened because you guys gave us the power to fight back in those early days where we found help with the Institute for Free Speech. But I'm also going to say this. This never had to happen. This didn't have to happen. There was a major fight in 2018 about this bill. Senator Anthony Bouchard fought like a dog on the floor to shut this down. Representative Bo Beitman, or was he Senator Beitman? I can't remember. I think he was in the House at that time. Bo Beitman fought like hell to shut this stuff down. Many others in the legislature fought like heck to shut this down. But Larry Hicks and Tara Nethercott and Ogden Driscoll, Dan Dockstetter, and a whole bunch of the rest of the Rhino Brigade in Cheyenne, they just don't really care. See, this is their state, don't you know? This is their state. They run Wyoming. What they say goes. That's what they all assume. That's what they all assume. And it took us a couple years. But by God, last night, this case was over. This case is over. We win, they lose, and now freedom is again restored in the state. And the campaign finance law, the provisions that we were objecting to anyway, have been stricken and have been decided to be against the First Amendment. Again, this should never have happened in a Republican state. Make no mistake, for those who are watching who might not know, or if you watch this from out of state and you're not from Wyoming, you might not know this. This was not done by Democrats. There are no Democrats in Cheyenne. I mean, there's more spotted owls in Cheyenne than there are Democrats. This was done by Republicans. This is done by fake, rhino, backstabbing, traitorous Republicans, because they know if they don't deal with Wygo members are going to hold them accountable at election time. They all know that. And that's why they were desperate to put a muzzle on us by requiring us to give them your name, your address, the amount of your donation, your contact info. We all knew what this was, right? We all know what cancel culture is. We all know what doxing means. We all know how they would use this information against you. I can guarantee you that if we had to surrender your name and your address, you would have political opponents reading those reports, contacting your boss, contacting your employer, trying to get you fired. It happens all the time. It happens all the time. That was their goal. We said no. And again, because of all your help, guys, this is over. We win, they lose. The First Amendment wins. The Second Amendment wins. And these little dictators in Cheyenne have to follow the law. What a shocking concept. So many great comments here from Ann Lee. We've got Gwen, big Wygo member, are here thanking us for this victory. Representative Bob Wharf is on here right now. Big victory for Wygo and for all nonprofits. You know, guys, we're proud as heck to have played our part. No question about it. Very proud to have played my part in this. But again, the reason why this was filed was because, not just because they hate me, it's because they hate you. They hate you. These anti-gun rhino Republicans, they hate you. And for the first time, I think for the first time in a long time, Wygo has always fought to expose rhinos at election time. No doubt about it. Long before I was involved, Wygo was doing that. But for the first time, I think in 2020, they realized how powerful you are, how powerful Wygo collectively is. Almost every single rhino we went to expose was defeated by gun owners in their districts. They lost all of their friends. I mean, Von Flateren didn't just lose. I mean, the guy's been in office for closer to 20 years than 10 years. And the guy didn't just lose. It was almost a 70-30 ass beating up in Gillette. You know, Dan Kirkbride, chairman of Judiciary, who was running Fix Nix in the House, in committee, didn't just lose. It was a 65-35 boat paddle on his backside. And all these scum rhinos in Cheyenne realized, oh my God, if they can do it to them, they can do it to me too. And they're right. They're right. They're right. So they knew their only chance then. They couldn't starve us out. They couldn't stop our fundraising. They couldn't stop the work you guys did. They can't stop guys like Dutch Van Stockham, who's commenting right here, Angie Mills, Annie Lucas. They can't stop any of you people. They can't stop you people. They knew their only option was to stop Wygo with a tyrannical First Amendment attack And again, guys, they lost again. They failed again. Federal court judge last night ruled in favor of Wygo's lawsuit, shut down the state's crap, and we could not be happier. Here, for those who are getting on late, here is the final decree, the last of the 28-page decision from the judge. This law, campaign finance law, does not survive exacting scrutiny, and it violates the First Amendment. It is thus void for vagueness. Guys, we're going to post this entire thing on our website and on our Facebook page later on today. I should have had that ready to go now. I'm sorry I don't have that for you. It's a great read about the First Amendment. It's a great read about the Second Amendment. It's a great read about campaign finance law. And it might sound kind of boring and it might sound kind of dry, because it is. Compared to an AR-15 and a 30-round magazine, it is boring. But if we let these bureaucrats muzzle us through these tyrannical First Amendment attacks via campaign finance laws, we will lose our right to expose these people at election time. And if that happens, it will directly begin to impact our gun rights in a very, very, very negative way. So huge thank you to everybody in Wygo Nation who helped with a donation to this lawsuit. You guys did a tremendous amount of support and made our initial legal defense possible. And we could not thank you. We just can't thank you enough. This only happened because of Wygo members. That's it. That's it. We can't thank you enough for that. We also want to thank again the Institute for Free Speech, IFS, did a major, major amount of work in this case. We also want to thank them a lot. If you guys would want to do so, go to their website as well and donate to them if you wish. Any donations made to IFS are a 501c3 deductible donation on your taxes, so feel free to help them out as well. They certainly earned it in this case. And we want to thank again all of the legislators on the inside who tried to stop this back in 2018, who tried to stop this year's new attack in 2022, just 2 weeks ago in Cheyenne. We have great people in office in Wyoming, great people who are ferocious champions for the Second Amendment and for the First Amendment. And we want to thank them. Again, we mentioned some of the names earlier: Anthony Bouchard, Bo Beitman, Tim Salazar was there for that fight in 2018. A lot of the newer guys probably weren't there in 2018, but so many people fought this year. So many folks fought last year against this, last time against this, rather, and we cannot thank you enough for this. So, guys, huge victory for gun owners, huge victory for the First Amendment, for the Second Amendment, and it is a great big slap in the face of bureaucrats in Cheyenne, these folks right here who want to put a muzzle on us and say, you shut up, you fall in the line, or if you don't, you give us a list of your donors. And if you don't do that, we're coming after you guys. We're gonna fine you and try to shut you down. They tried, folks. We fought back in federal court. Thanks to your help. Again, folks, we won. They lost. Freedom is secure. And now we're heading right back into the 2022 primary election season. And by God, we could not be more excited. If you're not yet a member of this organization, folks, go to joinwygo.com, joinwygo.com, and join in this fight. If you are a member, please donate today. We have major expenses to recoup. And now that we're free to engage in the primaries, and they're only 6 months away, give or take, it's time to build back our arsenal to expose anti-gun rhinos, and there's many of them to expose. So donate today, join today, get involved in our fight, folks, and we'll keep you informed. Thank you so much. Share our video. Take care.